Hello, everyone. Today we are going to be continuing to work on equivalent fractions. Our objective is to generate simple equivalent fractions by using visual fraction models and the number line. So we're just going to be creating equivalent fractions today. Remember, the word equivalent means equal. So they want us to look at this number line. You can see this number line right here. And right now, let's look at let's number label the number line. So we have 0 out of, well, let's see how many pieces it's broken into. 1, 2, 3. 0 thirds, 1 third, 2 thirds, and 3 thirds. They want us to create a fraction that is equivalent to 1 third, which is, you see the dot right there. The easiest way to do that is just to break each third in half to make sixth. So if we just draw a line here and just break each third in half, then we have sixth. 1/6, 2/6, 3/6, 4/6, 5/6, 6/6. Let's label that. It's easier just to label it to begin with than it is to worry about later and make mistakes. So 0/6, 1/6, 2/6, 3/6, 4/6, 5/6, and 6/6. So looking at the number line, they wanted us to find a fraction that was equivalent to 1 third. So which fraction is equivalent to 1 third? Well, once we've made it into sixth, we can see that 1 third is equivalent to 2 sixths. And if you look at this, we've talked about this over and over again, but 1 times what gives you 2? Well, 1 times 2 equals 2. So then if you also multiply the denominator by 2, 3 times 2 equals 6. So if you just multiply the numerator and the denominator by the same number, you will find an equivalent fraction. I'm going to go ahead and erase this one so we can work on the next one, just to give us more room. Okay, so currently the number line is broken into 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. Let's label it 0 fourths, 1 fourth, 2 fourths. It looks kind of like a 6, but we know it's a fourth. 3 fourths, and 4 fourths. Again, the easiest way to create equivalent fractions on a number line is just break up what you have into halves. So we'll use our red again and break the fourths in half. And then let's see what we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have eighths. The first one is going to be 0 eighths, 1 eighth, 2 eighths, 3 eighths, 4 eighths, 5 eighths, 6 eighths, 7 eighths, and 8 eighths. So looking at our dot that's already there on the number line, 2 fourths is equal to 4 eighths. Now what could we multiply the numerator and the denominator of this fraction by to get 4 eighths? Well, if we multiply each of these by 2, 2 times 2 equals 4, 4 times 2 equals 8. So we do have equivalent fractions here. Let's go to the next one. I'm going to erase this mess so we can see around it. Okay, we currently, make sure you're paying attention here. Whoops. The number line does not start at 0. It starts at 1. So we're already above 0. We're already above 1. So let's go ahead and count out our fractions. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's broken down into fourths. That tells us that 1 is 4 fourths. The next jump over is going to be 5 fourths. You need to count the jumps here first to determine what your fraction is going to be at 1. Okay, so because there's 4 jumps between 1 and 2, we know that it's broken into fourths. And so the equivalent of 1 is 4/4 when we're breaking it into fourths. So it would be 4/4. So 4/4, 5/4, 6/4, 7/4, 8/4. And you'll notice this is what Elijah was talking about last week in our group meeting. If you divide 4 into 8, what do you get? You get 2. That's just something to pay attention to. You don't need to know that yet, but I thought it was very interesting that Elijah had noticed that. All right, so again, we need to break our number line pieces into halves, just because that's the easiest way to do it. We're going to break each one of these in half, and let's count our jumps now. I already know that it's going to be 8 because you're basically just multiplying your previous number of jumps by 2 by cutting it in half. So, but let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we start at 1, so that's going to be what? 8 eighths, 9 eighths, 10 eighths, 11 eighths, 12 eighths, 13 eighths, 14 eighths, 15 eighths, 16 eighths. So they want to see what's equivalent to 5/4, which is right here. So 5/4 is equal to 10 eighths. What do you notice about 5/4 and 10 eighths? Take a minute to look at it. Do you see any relationship between them? Well, if you multiply 5 times 2, you get 10. If you multiply 4 times 2, you're going to get 8. So again, we're just taking the fraction we have, multiplying the numerator and the denominator by 2, and it gives us an equivalent fraction. Let me erase that mess so we can focus on the next one. Okay, let's count the jumps. Again, we're starting at 1, so we need to count our jumps to figure out what our fraction will be at the number 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's broken down into 5 pieces, so that means this is 5/5, 6/5, 7/5, 8/5, 9/5, 10/5. Now let's just break the number line down in half again. Put these like this. And let's count our jumps. How many jumps do you think it will be? Considering that it was 5 jumps to begin with, and now we've just cut each one in half, we're doubling the number of jumps, so it's going to be 10 jumps, but let's count just to be sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is going to be 10 tenths, because remember, any number over itself equals 1, 11 tenths, 12 tenths, 13 tenths, 14 tenths, 15 tenths, 16 tenths, 17 tenths, 18 tenths, 19 tenths, and 20 tenths. So 10 over 5 equals 20 over 10, which is right here. Again, look at the relationship between these two numbers. 20 is what to 10? It's double 10. 10 times 2 is 20. 10 and 5. 5 is, if you double 5, you get 10. 10 times 2 is 20. 5 times 2 is 10. So that's how you will be doing this. I suggest you count the jumps first that are already there. Go back and cut the number line in half again between each jump, and then label that and see which ones are equivalent that way to help you find the correct answer. Let's see if we can go ahead and see your work that you're going to be doing today and go over it just a little bit. So it's very similar to what we just went over, except the dots are in different places. So make sure you pay attention that this one, whoops, let me click on edit, sorry. So this one and this one, they both start at 1. They're not starting at 0. So these fractions, these two are going to start at 0 over however many jumps it is. These ones are going to start at like 4/4 or 5/5 or 6/6. So make sure you're paying attention to whether or not the number line starts with 0 or 1. Then over here, whatever fraction the dot is on, you're going to write right here. And then once you break it down in halves, whatever fraction that dot is on, you're going to write it over here, and they will be equivalent. So if you have any questions, let me know. I know we're getting into more challenging topics, so I am available for a one-on-one, guys. I had to do a one-on-one with several students last week because it is getting more challenging, and I'm here for you if you need help. Okay? Have a good one. Do your best.